Hello, everyone. Um,
Hi.
I am Lindsay. This is Maria and our special guest, LeeLee. And
Yeah.
we are Roomies Review the Movies, where we are two old college roommates, and I have a
Wow.
dream.
Oh,
Wait, not old, right? We are two mature college roommates. I have a degree in film. Maria has been doing commentary and journalism or reviews, journalistic reviews on movies for the past 20 years. And we are here to discuss 1992's Juice, starring Omar Epps and Tupac Shakur.
I just want to say before we get started, that was the first time I heard the intro music like in my headphones, and that was amazing. I was like, I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm so happy you like it.
Yes,
Yay. Yeah, I tried. I tried.
you did excellent.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, so we are here to discuss Juice. This is Maria's first time seeing Juice.
Of course
Mhm.
it is.
Yes.
Came out
So
in 1992. I was 8.
so
I
was
was
I.
young. I still seen it.
Right.
But again, like my parents were not allowing me to watch a lot of things, so like I still
Yeah.
haven't seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
Wow.
they thought it was too violent, so they wouldn't let me see it.
The
Oh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
oh, we
You,
have to watch that.
dude, that is such a classic movie. I can't believe you. Okay, all right, no.
We have to review that one.
Yeah, no, it was totally in the zeitgeist. Like everybody I know was into it. Like it wasn't like I didn't know about it or anything, but it was just like I wasn't allowed to watch the movie.
Wow, I did not know that.
Hmm
I will watch
That
it to this day.
yeah. Also,
Mhm.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
No, I haven't seen that one. That one,
That was a Saturday morning cartoon.
yeah.
Yeah, listen, it's ooh. Now, Lindsay, you probably didn't watch it because it didn't intrigue you, but I just like
Mm.
Maria, like man, like
I was watching Shira, but
I
Jim
didn't know how
and Jet.
sheltered you was until you just mentioned Ninja Turtles and
Ren
Killing
and
Two
Stimpy.
Babies.
Yeah, that was too juvenile for me. I was watching adult movies
Oh,
because,
excuse me. I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
no,
was I was busy being a child.
right, no,
I was a baby.
it was hard out here in Kansas City streets.
Listen,
Had to grow up early.
I did too, but I still loved all my B movies. Anything that came on after Saturday morning cartoons definitely was getting watched.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't watch that, but I definitely saw Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I saw The Secret of the Ooze. So
You
yeah,
supposed to.
right.
The Secret of the Ooze.
Yes,
Right.
Then
The
the second one.
Secret. Yep. That was the sequel. That was the one with Vanilla Ice in it.
Right. I remember
Yeah.
that.
I watched
Hmm.
all three.
Have you seen the new one?
Yes.
I've seen all the new ones.
I heard the
Yeah.
new one was really good.
The new one
They.
is fucking amazing.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my god. Like the way that they did it was so amazing.
I
But
love the
we
art
are
style. But yeah.
yes, yes,
Hmm
and like hearing the backstory, the reason why they chose it and whatnot. Like it was an ode to the old school cartoon and whatnot. Like it just made it even that much more awesome. But yeah, but we're not here to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Not this week.
No, no, not this week, but we will be revisiting this conversation. So
Okay.
we have to. We have to. But yes, we are here to talk about Juice, which is a hood classic. Definitely a hood classic. Shit. I would label it as a classic period. Like it's
That's
such
what
a
I was about to say.
good movie. Right. Um and Omar Epps, this was like his debut role
Oh,
along with
really?
Tupac. Both of them, yeah. And Omar Epps was a teenager when this came out because he's just now 50.
He looked like a teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, he's just now 50. I think like Tupac was maybe 20.
Wow.
So, yeah. But, yeah.
1992, he was 22.
Was he
Quick
22?
math.
He was born in 70? I thought he was born in 71.
20. He was 22. He died at 25, so he was 22.
Okay. All right. So so yeah, but I mean, the casting was amazing. We also have what's his name, Khalil Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And you may know Khalil Kane from For Color Girls. He was the one that was trying to date what's her name? Ania Noki Rose. Is that how you say her name?
Anika Noni Rose.
Yes. And then he did something to her that I'm not gonna say because we're on YouTube.
Well,
But
apparently he was also in Girlfriends. Is Darnell
in what?
Girlfriends?
Yes, I was getting there. He did have the reoccurring role. Because initially which is so funny because Flex is in this movie too, but for the first season, Flex was Darnell. And then after that he got one-on-one, so they recasted Khalil for Darnell, and he played it all the way up until the end. He also played Tiger Woods in the Tiger Woods story, the straight to HBO movie.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. Did you see that?
Huh?
Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. And
I had Tiger Woods straight to HBO movie.
Yeah, it was a HBO original movie that came out at the height of his career, so it was like the late 90s.
Okay.
So yeah.
And
he did a pretty good job. He was in Love Jones? Okay. Mm-hmm. That I did.
That soundtrack is so great. But yeah.
You think so?
Oh, it's Love Jones soundtrack?
Uh-huh. Yeah. What's on that soundtrack?
Penny with a Hole in It is one of the ones that's in there. That was the major single.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
Like a penny with a hole in it, penny with a hole in it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a bop. That's a bop.
Yeah. You know, that song always caught me off guard because I'm like, a penny with a hole in it.
Yeah. They say I'm hopeless like a penny with a hole in it.
Yeah. That is definitely hopeless.
Yeah. Can't even be a quarter, a dime, or a nickel. I'm a penny and I still can't.
Right. Just a penny with a hole in it. Yeah.
Like telling somebody that they're worth a penny and then saying it's a hole in it. Like that's tragic right there.
It is.
Yeah. Right. You might as well jump off a bridge at that point.
Yeah. I love some Deion Ferris and then also her daughter, Baby Tate.
Yes. Yeah. She had a stint on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Oh, she did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but she's doing good on her own. So shout out to her. Then Jermaine Hopkins, who plays Steel. Jermaine Hopkins, he after Juice, the only time I really saw him was on the Wayans Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than that, I haven't really seen him. But I always revert back to Juice when it comes to Khalil Kane and Jermaine Hopkins. Yeah. And also, I just saw a independent movie. I want to say it may have been on Tubi with Khalil Kane in it. Khalil Kane plays a really good pervert.
Okay.
He does. For some reason, he plays a really good pervert. Like
great
anybody that looks like they struggle to grow facial hair can play a real good pervert.
Oh,
yeah. That is the stereotype of the year.
That's my opinion. I look at a man. If a man tell me 30 plus and he got a smooth face, I'd be like, that be hiding behind trees and shit.
So we have those four. Those are the four main characters. We also have Samuel L. Jackson in the movie as well. Samuel L. Jackson, he plays Trip, and he's like the.
Oh, is that his name? I missed it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is his name? I could listen.
Yeah. He plays the neighborhood arcade owner. I guess he's the
hall guy.
He's the pool hall guy.
Right.
He at least operates it.
Right. So
he's also the wrong nigga to have around your daughters.
Yes.
Absolutely. Every
a lot of age things
thing
going on here. They're just like, whoa,
there's
hold
a lot
on.
of problematic things. There's a whole lot of problematic things in this movie. But yeah, so we also get special appearances from, which I already said, Flex, Queen Latifah.
She was great.
Tretch, yeah. Tretch is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Who EPMD is in the movie. Who else did we see in the movie?
DJ Red Alert was in the movie.
Yes, Red Alert, Bad
Dr.
Bye
Dre and Ed
Freddy.
Lover.
Bad Bye Freddy.
Yeah, Dr. Dre and Ed Lover, absolutely.
What's that? What's dude's name? That sing
Oron Juice Jones.
Yeah. Well,
Nasty Nappy Dugout
like,
dude.
I am your highest. I am your highness.
Numero uno.
Yeah, numero uno. I'm not Puerto Rican, but I speak it so that you know who. I forgot his name, but he was on there. He was taking dude's girl when Tupac was like, "Yo, woman."
He was the one who was driving off in the car with.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Because we barely got
Special K.
Special K.
Special K. Yeah.
He didn't have a line or anything.
Nope. His fine self. He still look good to this day.
Very good looking dude. I was like, well, you called her out her name this morning and she found somebody else. I don't know what to tell you. Why are you mad?
Words.
Right.
That was already in motion.
Yeah.
That's why she wasn't giving him no time, but she definitely had a type though.
Pretty.
Yeah, very pretty. All right, so let's get into the trailer and then we'll go from there.
Enter the dragon. As I start the record, attack the nigga, the banging the rappers on the bandwagon. Feel the fury of a winner, gay women are slaves.
No, you're sexy.
Thank you. Sir? Sir, can I check that newspaper? Sir, where are you going? Get a job, why don't you?
People call me Q or GQ.
What, did names like Mustafa and Akbar become too hard to spell?
Yo, well, I'm serious now.
Well, I'm serious too, Raheem, and this does not make you a man.
I should let you have her.
Don't you remember? I let you have her.
Almost empty.
We went from the cops. We went from security guards. Like I'm on the damn track team. If you want respect, you gotta earn it. You gotta be ready to throw down, stand up, and die for that stuff if you want to do.
Check this out. It's gonna be a piece of cake, Q.
Yeah, man, it'll be a piece of cake. We go in right before 11, get the loot, jet. I got a DJ Saturday night, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to miss that for nobody.
I hold on to the gun.
Why should he hold on to the gun?
Because I already got it.
You didn't have to shoot him, man, to move.
I want to ask you boys some questions.
Did you leave the club at any time tonight?
You're mixed up in it, aren't you?
I think Bishop lost it, man.
Who killed him? I'm the one y'all need to be worried about.
Hey, yo, man. If you didn't do nothing, then you got nothing to worry about. I know who killed him.
Do him in if I have to.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into the film. So we have 4 best friends. Again, they are Q, Bishop, Steele, and Raheem. We start the movie off with seeing how they pretty much start their day. They're 4 high school buddies, and they have no intentions on going to high school, however. So
high school one time.
Right. So but you play a role or whatever for your when you get up in the morning, because you don't want to tell your parents that, hey, you feel like dropping out. So Yeah.
No parent wants to hear that.
No, not at all. And then everything is just supposed to go normal, like no conversation or nothing. Absolutely not. So yeah. So they wake up every morning, getting themselves together and whatnot to start their day. And then they all meet up. And when they all meet up, right before they all four meet up, Bishop is confronted by this one guy and his crew. The guy's name is
Roomies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is such a, I was like, what kind of name? What is that name?
It's probably his last name.
Radamus, I think.
I don't know. Don't give me the line, but yeah. So
This Puerto Rican kid who's the leader of his own group.
Yeah. And
Called the Roomies. Like listen, you gotta have some big balls to get a gang and call them your last name.
Yeah, the whole crew, and they like, yeah,
we all Roomies.
We're all you.
What? Nigerian as fuck calling himself a Puerto Rican name.
Right. Like it's a whole rainbow coalition of gang, and they're all Roomies. So, and this movie is based out of Harlem. So, reason why I say that is because there are a lot of things that are said in this interaction that New York people allow, and the rest of the country is like, absolutely the fuck not. One of them being that a Puerto Rican is calling another black guy the N-word, and nobody is
crazy.
And you don't even look a drop Afro Latino, my guy. So
no, he's far from Afro Latino. Like, so yeah, and he, like I said, he got a whole rainbow coalition gang. And nobody is like saying that. But again, this is in New York, so they allow that shit in New York.
They do.
That's
different.
Shout out to Noriega for saying it. I remember an interview. Noriega said, if you grew up in New York, there's no way you could be racist because everybody's blended together and everybody call each other the same motherfucking thing.
That's some bullshit. So
how that works.
Yeah, I'd be damned if anybody calls me a nigga.
You seen it. We seen it firsthand, and that was 1992.
Right,
which was probably 1991. It takes a while for them. Back then, it took a while for movies to get put up.
Right. So, not only did they say that, they also said the F word, which was always a derogatory thing to say, because he said that as an insult.
Yeah, there's a lot of behavior like isms and phobias or whatever that I kind of expect from teenage boys in the 90s. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's to be expected, absolutely. Yeah. But it does take you off guard. Like, damn, they said all that,
It's just like, yeah. That sounds about right. Like,
yeah, right. And so yeah. So they have this interchange and whatnot, and Bishop is trying to hold his own by himself, but you can tell that he is a bit scared until he sees his crew.
15 dudes on him. Like,
yeah, right. But then he jumps real hard when he sees his homeboys, and that's when they start to have a little tussle, and then his homeboys come in between them to squash it or whatnot, and you can instantly tell that Raheem is the leader of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
And which their foursome is called the crew.
Mm-hmm. And Raheem, we'll see later on, like with Bishop, like he uses hard power. Raheem uses soft power.
Mm-hmm. Right. And Raheem is the likable one, as opposed to Bishop. Bishop is a hothead. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. He's a
I wish they did. Now I understand when people do interviews and talk about Pac, and when Pac say he want to go more in depth into what his character is, and a lot of directors don't like it, because now I see what they talking about when I was watching it this morning, with that interaction with him and the gang. They were talking about, he was crazy and out and then nobody really, it was like something that like really went over everybody's head. You know what I'm saying? he was in his own hood, like nobody fucked with him because they thought he was the weirdo for real.
Mm-hmm. And they were talking about his father, about how he was in prison and like what may have happened to him in prison. Because we see his dad, and he just seems really catatonic.
Yeah, because like who's really raising him is like his grandma. Like they don't mention anything about his mom or anything like that. They don't go into depth on what happened with his dad, but you can tell his dad is off because all he does is just sit in front of the TV.
He's not there.
No. And then, I mean,
he slipped him $100, so he definitely get up and go get high. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That man look like he can't leave the house.
Yeah. It really does, but you're probably also right as well because what is he gonna do with the money, you know? But
grandma probably gonna come and take it right out the pocket and go to the store.
Something, you know. But I mean, it just is what it is. Like, like Bishop knows, you know, that this ain't necessarily right, and he probably is taking it out on the world subconsciously, you know.
Yeah.
I'm very consciously.
Yeah, he could very well be that as well.
I mean, because he has that whole speech where he's like, "I'm not shit," you know, blah blah blah. So he's very like conscious of it.
Yeah.
And then in '92, he has a whole it's the masculinity thing, like especially with how they was talking about how his dad, you know what I'm saying, could have possibly got the big R in prison. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's a masculinity thing with him. He got to prove he a man every day, all day, period.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Because I was thinking that too. Like, it probably was that because what else can make you be like that? You know what I mean? That would have happened to you in prison, you know?
Like, and the thing is, I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Why did he get in prison? Did that really happen? Did he really go to prison? What? But we don't get any more details, you know.
No. That's why next movies, Pac used to be like, what is my whole dynamic?
Yeah. Because we see him in this, like you're saying, like these first few scenes, and when his boys come up, you can see him like puff up and get ready. He's like glad he's got that backup coming. And then throughout the movie, he just tries to kill them all. And it's just like, where did that particular turn come in?
Oh yeah, well, the further we talk about it, I got good experience and I know exactly what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have this scene where his boys show up or whatever, and they pretty much squash the beef with the other crew or whatnot. It's never explained why Bishop has this beef with this guy. Because it's for the most part a one-on-one beef. It's just, you know, crews are gonna have their crews back, you know. So so we have that or whatnot, and then they end up going to the pool hall that's an arcade as well. And yes, so they end up being down there, and that's when we are introduced to Samuel L. Jackson. And he is the owner or the runner, the manager or what have you, of this said pool hall. And then while they're in there, you know, the truancy officers
hit on teenagers.
Right. The truancy officers come. So everybody breaks.
Oh, is that what they were? I was like, what are they doing? Okay.
Yeah, they were truancy officers. Now, I don't have any experience with that because my school didn't have truancy officers. So yeah.
Yeah, you just got in school suspension if you came too late or missed some. Like, we didn't have officers.
We had truancy officers, and they would patrol the neighborhoods at the for everybody that went to school, because after a while, you know, they start making people go to school in their own neighborhood. So the truancy officers would patrol around the neighborhoods. But shit, them truancy officers, it was a whole different beast. Like, I ain't never been chased down by no truancy officer. Like, when we
you're really working that hard.
They was not getting paid enough to chase us.
So what would they do? Because like I've seen like their cars and whatnot, but I've never seen them in action in real life.
They would legit. If they got you, They would take you back to school. You would automatically be put in 3 days ISS.
Okay.
Great.
Then if they catch you again, and then they would literally they would suspend you then. But if you got caught too many times, they would be talking about expelling you from the school.
But I see, and that's the part that don't make sense, because if you get caught for a second time, you get OSS.
Yep.
Wouldn't that defeat the purpose? Because
It would.
I'm already out.
That's what we all thought.
Yeah, like it's already.
They were just giving you what they were trying to do is like give you more days that you were out, so the school can find a reason to kick you up out of there.
Yeah, right. Because you already you
Wow,
only missed so many days.
Money based on student head count. Like,
Yeah.
who is
Right.
this?
Yeah. KC school districts don't care about your education for real.
Yeah,
No,
mine.
want the
Our
money.
school's policy was like, if you're 15 minutes late 3 times, then you get in school suspension. I was like, okay, so I just won't come, because there was no, it was like
Right.
they didn't suspend you for being absent.
It could be so many different reasons why you're 15 minutes late. Like, that's silly.
So I still showed up to get my education, right?
Right. Shoot, I'm still in first period by 15 minutes. You ain't missed nothing, but whatever.
This was homeroom, but sure, okay.
Right. So
And school suspension is the dumbest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't do nothing. They don't give you the curriculum, but you get a bunch of worksheets and you don't have to do them.
Well, we had to do our work, but yeah, I mean,
I spent the majority of the time asleep.
Yeah, I only did mine because they literally would not let us do anything else.
Right. I did the same, but like the ISS teacher ain't a teacher; they just a babysitter.
Yep.
You know? But anywho, so the truancy officers catches Steele, because Steele is so fixated on Street Fighter, but everybody else runs away, and when they run away, Raheem ran one way, and Bishop and Q ran another way, and so they're jumping fences, and Bishop gets stuck on a fence. Q helps him, and then they end up running into an apartment building. So they ran up to the roof. The cops followed them up to the roof, and they get to a ledge, and they're contemplating on what to do. And so the officers is just like, all right, show's over, let's go. They end up jumping over to the next building off the roof.
Parkour.
Yeah. That wasn't their first rodeo.
No.
I was like, why are we running to the roof? We have to know what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like, there's no other way. So, but
LeeLee, you telling me that these are truancy officers is really blowing my mind, because I absolutely thought it had to be for some crime, because there's no way in the world you're a truancy officer doing all of this.
I'm the same way. I was watching it this morning, like, damn, these is truancy officers. Like, why are y'all so hardball? Like, dude,
right?
What y'all do is y'all run into the little pool hall, y'all break it up, and then y'all go about y'all business. Y'all don't give a fuck where them kids went after that.
You're not chasing, you're not jumping fences and on roofs.
Right.
It explains, like, in New York in that time, why they didn't talk to police, period.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling what them truancy officers did to you for running.
Right.
They did way too much. Yeah.
Imagine getting your shit split open because you missed first period, but then they take you to second period with your shit knotted up.
Right.
I'm not going again.
Yeah,
no
I'm in the mood for learning today. Like, what?
Right. Bleeding all over your syllabus and shit.
Wow.
Right. It is crazy. But like, with me not having to deal with truancy officers, this was my only experience. So I thought that they was really that crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then when I actually saw a truancy officer in a patrol car, I'm like, oh shit. You know?
Yeah, that's why I was tweeting, like, what did they do? Like, what?
That's all they did was skip school.
They just skipped school.
All they did. Because you remember when Steele was the one that got caught. They took him right to school, and then the rest of the crew waited for him to leave.
Oh, okay. I thought they had taken him to the police station because that dude had
No,
come running after him.
That was a
That was-
regular school security that I mean he was even doing too much because if I'm school security, I'm not stepping off the steps, nigga. He gone.
Me either. And
Oh
then
no, he left.
ran.
Now what?
Right.
Right.
Right. He ran and chased him to the corner. And then he was like, forget it. No.
I guess that was the end of the school property.
Yeah, I guess so. But I would have treated him like Walmart. Like, if I can't catch you by this threshold, you gone.
Yeah, it ain't nothing I can do about it. Just listen, if you don't want to get your education, man, I'm not forcing you.
Yeah.
I'm not physically forcing you to go to school.
Yeah, that ain't gonna help. I'll snatch you up and then throw you in class. You definitely ain't listening now.
You gonna want to be there? Right.
Right. So yeah. So that's what happened this particular day or whatnot. And so Steele gets out. They start walking around. Then they come up against this, they come up to this bar. And this was back in the day when you used to get cigarettes out of a vending machine.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess each one of them would take turns to go into the bar to get the cigarettes. And so it was Q's turn. So Q goes in there, and his young ass really did try to talk to a chick.
What is he on the phone? And I was like, why are you
right?
She's on the phone.
She's like legit on the phone. So she's on the payphone at that. So these are the times.
And this was after they had already gone to the record store.
That was after the record store? Okay,
Yeah.
so let me back up.
Yeah.
So they go to the record store because Q is a DJ and he wants to be a part of a DJ competition. And so he needs to make a new mixtape. Like he's usually making mixtapes for his friends and stuff like that. And so he wants to make an audition tape or whatnot. And they go to the record store, and they the play that they run at the record store is that Q buys a record and then he distracts the cashier by acting like he wants to holler at her. And so that distracts her while Steele has a newspaper and he's putting all these different records under the newspaper. And it works for the most part. The lady that he's trying to talk to is like, whoa. She has this big old gold tooth right in the front. And
she said she wanted a full grill.
Yeah, she wanted a whole grill. And you can tell.
Okay. Make your dreams come true.
Okay. And you can tell that as soon, because at first her back was turned. So as soon as she turned around, he was kind of taken back, like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like,
I wasn't quite sure how they were trying to portray her at first, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm just like, is this just a fisheye lens? Like, what are we saying? Yeah.
I don't think he was feeling her.
No, eventually it's like really clear. But at first I was like, how are they trying to show her? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Shout out to Juice for letting everybody know back in 1992 that just because you light skinned don't make you pretty, girl.
Right. Because that's also another thing about the 90s movies. And the
Yeah.
romantic is just always light skinned. So I was like, what's that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, no shade to the lady, but all they did was put a gold tooth in her mouth.
All they did was they put a gold tooth in her mouth and like zoomed in on her a little too much.
Yeah. So like the way that they shot her really was an unflattering angle.
Yeah. And like I knew people who had gold teeth at the time, so I was like, is that supposed to be not cute? Like I don't understand.
Right. Like my mama ain't light skinned, but my mama did shit. My daddy did back then too. Hell, my grandma.
Everybody that 1992,
yeah. Right.
My mama had a slug and an open face.
All right.
Yeah. My mama just had she had 4 altogether, but she had one vanity one to the side, because that's what they did was had that one to the side. My daddy had one to the side, my grandma had one to the side, and then my aunt had like a couple. She had like an open face and one to the side too. Yeah, so I was just around gold teeth.
Yeah. My
and they wondered why I wanted one.
This one was an open face, this one was a slug, and then the other one was a slug. So she had 3 on the left side. I thought my mama was hard. I thought my mama was gangster.
Right. Me too. Like, and then they wonder why I wanted gold teeth. Like I
I
grew up
that's
around
totally
it.
fun.
You said what?
I like those canines.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do
They
too.
still look good. They still look good.
Mhm.
You know
I
what I'm
do.
saying?
I'm with you. I fucks with the canines. I told
Mhm.
Lindsay once I get money what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't you enlighten Roomies review the movies on what you're doing when you get money?
Oh man, when I get real money, yeah, I'm getting fangs. I'm getting fangs, and that's it.
I
And
like
I want them to look real as possible. But because of how people are trying to act like I can't do that, what I'm gonna do to set it off is I'm gonna put diamonds in them so you will actually, you know what I'm saying. But it's gonna be like what the teeth that niggas put in their mouth now. They gonna be real.
Oh,
They
you're
just
gonna get some veneers.
yeah, they gonna be
Like
veneers.
veneer. Oh wow. That's
They just
cute.
gonna have diamonds in them. I'm definitely doing
Okay.
that when I get money.
Get some of those tooth gems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are real nice. Those are very subtle. And then when you see people with them, and then you realize they got them, you're like, oh, what? Okay. You know. So
I'm gonna spend good money on because I ain't doing it now because like you can get your shit done now for like $4,500, but that shit ain't that shit ain't looking right for me. I got small teeth anyway, so I can't walk around with them big teeth.
Oh no chiclets.
yeah. Right.
So it got to set. I'm gonna have them set it to my mouth right, and that's gonna cost some money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, definitely play the lotto. So yeah. So yeah. He's trying to talk to the old girl with the go-to while they're still in the records for him. So then the crew walks out. She peeps that still has this newspaper, and it looks like he got a whole bunch of records on the newspaper. So she's trying to get his attention while they're walking out, but Q is still trying to talk to her, still trying to distract her. Yeah. She knew what it was, but at the same breath, she was not going past that counter.
No,
to try to,
she is not running after them and jumping fences and going on top of roofs.
Right.
For these records,
that would have been a crazy concept in the movie if they had that light skinned girl jump off that motherfucking counter and go after them.
Right.
She
probably would have caught him.
Harlem don't show nobody no love. God damn.
It's hard.
She probably would have caught him. Excuse me, that's the killer part. Yeah. So
she called Q at least because Q the one had her fucked up.
Right.
In that big old coat.
Okay. So yeah. So after they leave the record store is when they get the cigarettes. So Q goes into the bar to get the cigarettes. And after he tries to talk to the lady or whatever, he realizes that he recognizes this guy that's standing by the jukebox. So he goes over to talk to him. The dude had just got out of jail like a few days ago or whatnot. And while they're conversing, he says, "Excuse me one moment, I'm about to rob this place." At least he was polite.
He said, "Pardon me." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. Right, pardon me, monsieur. But
New York is this?
Right. But he was polite.
Listen, he let you know. Was just like, "Oh, okay, I guess I can leave now."
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not trying to be implicated.
Right. This is my cue. I am out. No pun intended. So yeah. So he leaves. And while the dude is sticking up the place, he made
everybody get naked.
Yeah, he made everybody strip. And he said, "You look good."
I was about to say now, listen. When we talk about this scene, you got to really go into it because one thing that I have to realize when I was watching it this morning, how excuse me, how funny Juice was before the shit hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of those situations with teenage angst and just funny shit that could happen to you. Even when Steel got caught, the shit was funny because the nigga wasn't paying attention to police. Which further tells you
Street Fighter.
He wasn't aware of nothing. But
no.
The shit, the whole I forgot how funny it was because even that scene was funny. Just cutest thing, and he was just like catching up with somebody he ain't seen in a couple years. And Well, he, like you said, he like, pardon me, man, I'm about to rob this motherfucker. And like, he really did it. Like, wow. Like that whole scene where Q was actually looking at the gauge, like, damn, this shit about to go down for real.
Right.
That's what was the turning point of the movie for me. I was like, oh yeah, this is letting you know, man, this ain't what you think it's about to be.
Fun and games.
It ain't about to be a bunch of teenagers going getting into petty shit and going about their business. This is shit is about to get real.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, up to a certain point, it is like light and fun teenage misfit stuff, you know. But it turns serious real quick. It seemed like at that point it kind of turned serious for Q. He was like, "Wait a minute, what is going on?"
Because we find out later that he's been shot by the cops trying to rob the place.
Yeah, and in this scene or whatnot, when he goes back outside, he tells his crew what he just saw, and Bishop is like, "Oh, let me get in there and get a piece of the action." And Raheem is like, "Absolutely not. I'm not about to let y'all go down like that. Let him go down like that by himself." You know what I'm saying? And even though, you know, they're kids, they make bad decisions and stuff like that. So somebody had their head on the right.
Yeah, because that was just an incredibly stupid idea. I just like, what?
Yes, absolutely. It would have been detrimental for all of them, you know. And the movie would have been over. So
well, Raheem being the head of the crew, you know, that ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't what he was about to get into. One, you know, we ain't about to jump on the coattails of nobody else, nigga, because we the crew. You know?
I don't know that dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know what I'm saying. We don't know him like that, man. Like, fuck all that. Let's get about it. You know.
And that's the dumbest idea. You know, rob a bar. Like, what? You know? So but there was like a couple of funny moments and whatnot. Yeah. Because that part, like when he was like, "You look good."
Hell yeah, he said now get naked because you look good. I said, oh man. I ain't even gonna lie. In a crazy situation like that, a nigga with a gauge in my head, shit, these sweats coming off, man.
I've been working out, you know?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. I mean, my nigga, you know.
Why, thank you.
Right.
You know, I've been getting a couple of calisthenics in, man. Thank you for doing that, man. I just throw my wallet right there.
You know.
Right.
You know what? Here, take an extra 50.
Right. Okay.
I'll be in there like, boy, you know, I respect you for saying that, my nigga. You know, we all, you know, we good, man. Here, man. Look, we good, my nigga. And I'm coming out this shit.
Right.
I don't want nothing.
Okay. Milk does a body good. Thanks.
You know.
Like, just for that, let me take these earrings off. No.
Right.
Well, the police would have came and I'd have been the most relaxed nigga with my nuts out.
Right. Having a drink behind the bar. What else can I do?
I wouldn't get into it with that man.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. It's like in a moment like that, what do you say? Like, because I probably would have been like, "Thanks, I appreciate that."
What do you need?
Right.
All of a sudden, this robbery, this robbery come with a compliment.
Right. Confidence boost.
You know what I'm saying?
I got my confidence boosted at gunpoint. Like, what?
Right. I sure would have put that in my statement to the police. He said I look good. You know?
Right.
Put that in all caps because he yelled it.
Imagine he was randomly walking up on naked ass niggas like, yeah, give me that shit. Oh, you got some pretty ass eyes, my nigga. Turn around and just keep it moving.
Okay, because you know he said that to Eric Sermon.
Right. Your eyes pretty as fuck, my nigga. Turn that big ass around. God damn.
Right.
That's a savage right there.
Right. Because I mean, how can you be in the presence of Eric Sermon and don't compliment his eyes like that?
Man,
doesn't make sense. So I get it.
He was a big nigga with pretty eyes, and you know he smelled good. And nigga was like, "What is that?" You
know he did.
What is that, nigga? Almond milk you got on?
Right. You know he probably had cool water. He looked like a cool water.
Cool water. Or Curve.
Or Kurt,
Yeah.
right.
Let that Kurt. Nah, you smell like you use oils and shit.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is we doing right here?
Right. You want to smell me or you want my shirt? I'm confused. So, but yeah, so we have that scene or whatnot. So after they leave there with the cigarettes or whatever, they end up going over Steele's house, and Steele cooks for them. And he makes eggs with beer with a 40 ounce. That looks so disgusting.
It's not.
It looks really disgusting.
But I'm telling y'all, listen, I told that I was 9 years old when juice came out. I made eggs, bacon, and beer one time because I was like, I seen it in a movie. Ain't that bad.
Oh wow.
All right.
Eggs a little runny. Like the eggs a little runny.
Yeah.
You know, turn them into them little pellets.
Yeah.
But
no, I'm not gonna
bacon grease. If you get real bacon with the bacon grease, it kind of put it back together.
Yeah,
I'll take your word for it.
I would definitely take your word for it.
I'm saying it was in the 90s. It was a time to be alive, y'all.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, they're watching a movie that is very violent, and Bishop is all in the movie. Could tell this wasn't his first time watching it. And so he's just like,
what movie is that? That's what
I don't know. I saw your tweet. I don't know.
I forgot. Last time I checked, even though I think it was Eraserhead that he was watching.
Oh.
Eraserhead?
I had no idea it was that old.
Yeah, because it was a black and white movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but Bishop's all in, and he is like motivated.
The lines.
Yeah, he's motivated. He was like, "We got to get the juice. We got to go out. Like, if we go out like them. Like, so." They're just like, you know what, you're tripping. Q is really not into what he's talking about and whatnot because he also
like, I'm not trying to die in a blaze of glory for what? I have a DJ competition.
Right. I'm about to be a world famous DJ. What you talking about? So they also see a news report on what happened at the stick up at the bar. And that's when they see that their friend got killed by the police during that. So it kind of put things into perspective for them. But Bishop is still on one, because he was just like, he got the juice, so that was okay to him for him to go out like that. And it was just like, no, that like Q was the one that stepped to him. They both have an interaction to where it goes violent.
Because he calls Q a punk for wanting to live.
Right.
Differently.
Right. Totally makes sense, right? So yeah.
I guess maybe he feels betrayed by Q's ambitions that they're not the same as his or something. I'm not sure.
Bishop was just one of those kids that was caught up in the whirlwind of he didn't think his life meant nothing, so he didn't expect to be anything. So what he didn't want to do is grow old and forgotten. So when he seen that, he seen something, he was like, yeah, the hood gonna remember me if something like that happened. I'm gonna go out like a gangster. I'm gonna go out hard.
Right. And Q has ambitions. He still want to be down with the crew, and he's still down to do some mischief, but he also can see a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they is very much a nihilist in this regard. Like, the only thing I can control is my death.
Right. And then at the end of the day, you gotta put into perspective what his home life is. He see what his daddy turned out.
I wish we had gotten a little bit more, of his home life, because we only have that scene where he's saying goodbye. So I'm like, I know something is going on. We need a little bit more. Just give me
to this time day. That's why I say now after after this. When the movies that Pac picked, they actually gave you a storyline, because Pac wasn't doing it no more unless he had a storyline, because it was too many things happening where you don't really unfold who he was, and he didn't like that. That was the only thing he didn't like about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like we only got like that little nugget of his home life at the
Mhm.
beginning, and there was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, because I was
Just in
thinking
that
maybe
little
his dad was like a war vet or something, or like
I think he was both. I think he was a
that's
vet,
very
and I
possible
also
too.
think he went to jail.
Yeah.
You know, because I always picked up on the war vet stuff, but
Mhm.
it wasn't until like in recent years that I picked up on the jail part. So, yeah, I two things can most definitely be true
Yeah,
for a lot of people, i.e., dead presidents. So,
I have not seen.
yeah, so ain't no telling, what could
Pause.
have.
LeeLee about to be
Pause on
sick
the
of me.
movie. Pause on the movie. So as far as any of the 90s black movies, is this just, your first inkling of watching these?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
It was just some I like. There are a lot that I hadn't seen, but I'd seen some of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you said that, I was like, now wait a minute now, goddamn it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's a lot of movies I didn't see in the 90s too that were kid movies or kid friendly movies, because my mama wasn't taking us to go see no stuff like that. So she was taking us to go see stuff she wanted to see.
Yeah.
So
my mom never took me to the movie, so I went and watched whatever. Anything I got my little grimy hands on, I was watching.
But yeah. So that was our thing. Since I missed things and since Maria missed things, we're kind of going back
and forth,
picking up things. Yeah. But yeah. On top of going to the movies and seeing it, we also had all the movie channels. So if my mama didn't take us, I watched it on.
We did not have the movie channels. You'd only see it if they were doing like that special free weekend. We didn't have the movie channels.
We had all the movie channels and then pay-per-view. We didn't pay for pay-per-view, but I could see it through all the snow.
Listen, we didn't have movie channels growing up either, but what we did have, which is so great to me, is before they shut it down, we had the dollar show. So, and the dollar show would pay, like if a movie was in theaters after 3 months, it would automatically be at the dollar show, and the dollar show is probably 10 minutes away from where I grew up and where I live right now. So like we used to just catch a ride up there. Anybody would drop you off because it's straight up 63rd. So they would drop you off at the dollar show, and then you just tell them to pick you up because you got to watch 2 movies.
Yep. Yeah, we had a few. We had Independence, we had 63rd, we had Grandview. So yeah, we had quite a few.
Maybe $2 theaters, and they were each like 20 to 30 minutes away from the house.
Oh wow, okay.
So I wasn't really able to get up there.
That was a hop, skip, and a jump to my OGs. Yeah. They were just like, "What you want, little dude?" And I'm like, "Just take me to the dollar show."
Right, I'm gonna spend the weekend there or the after. But yeah. So they so back to the movie. Bishop and Q get into it. Raheem breaks them up, and Steele is upset because they broke his mother's lamp. So, which understandably so, because they ain't supposed to be.
They were in the parlor with all the plastic on the sofa.
Yeah, right.
Picked up, smoking, eating. Mm-hmm.
Right, all the above. Like nobody would have noticed it until you broke the lamp. But all right, so yeah,
and Raheem is the one to break it up because
he's the leader.
He's the quote unquote dad out of them two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, so he really is a dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
They never mentioned anything about Q's dad, and we seen what Bishop's dad was. So they gravitated to Raheem because Raheem he was a steady minded one. Out of all of them, he was really the steady minded one. Although he was still caught up in just and this youth, but he was, you know what I'm saying, his wisdom was he had more wisdom than the both of them.
Yeah, he had a cool head.
Right. I feel like because of the fact that he was a teen parent, he had to grow up.
He had to grow up real quick and fast.
Yeah, even though he wasn't like involved in the day-to-day with his kid, he still had to grow up nonetheless, you know?
Yeah.
So, excuse me. But yeah, so they come up with this elaborate idea after Q goes into the audition, which is ran by Queen Latifah. And this is when we see Flex, because right before Q goes into the audition, Queen Latifah comes out with Flex because Flex is upset that he didn't make the cut. And he goes off on Queen Latifah, and then Queen Latifah gathers him and sends him on his way. So then, yes. So then we have the scene where we see her listening to Q's audition tape, and she likes it. He makes the cut. So, which is so funny because
Hold on,
literally,
I'm gonna pause you right there.
mm-hmm.
Cause are you gonna bring up what Bishop was was calling him?
What was he calling him?
Okay, so you know, he has these dreams of being a DJ, and Bishop told him, nigga, yeah, you local, you ain't going nowhere. So that stung him. And so when Queen Latifah was listening to him and she was asking him, do you do this? And he was like, yeah. And then I do mixtapes around the way, and she hit him and was like, oh yeah, so you local. That stung the shit out of Q. And
yeah.
Some people it would have broke, because that's what your friends are telling you. Your friends are telling you forget it anyway because you ain't nothing but a local dude. And then this person says, "Are you local?" That would have broke a lot of people. With Q, that put a fire under his ass. He was mad that's what the world see me as local. Oh, y'all got me fucked up.
Yeah.
See, I thought she was saying it in more kind of like a positive way. Like, yeah, like
she was
looking for that.
Nah, she wasn't.
But she was.
She was, but he didn't take it that way.
He didn't take it that way because of what Bishop said, but she did say it in like a raw talent, like I'm finding a diamond out of the rough type of ordeal. You know what I mean? So she didn't mean it that way, but he took it that way.
Right. Yeah.
So but right after he goes around the corner from getting the go ahead that he'll be in the competition, he runs into Strip, and Strip is talking to a underage girl.
Like, this is, to me,
visibly underage.
Yeah, she looks 14 maximum.
At best.
I was like, this has to be like somebody's kid from on set, like who is like, you want to be in the movie, you know?
I was thinking it too.
But I was like, oh, this is visually upsetting.
Yeah, and I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, you think
because
so?
I mean, Samuel L. Jackson looked old back then. Like it wasn't like he was older and looked younger. I mean, of course he looked younger than now, but he looked mad older than everybody else. So
yeah, he looked like he was good in his mid-30s.
Yes. So
he was definitely a 37-year-old man.
Right. So to put her in the scene with him, and he's obviously trying to talk to her, that had to be on purpose.
Why was that? Because he could have been talking to her about anything else. I just, come by the pool hall. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
You ain't gonna be trying to do nothing but try to get in them draws the way that he was talking to her.
Like, dude,
the way that he
14. Maximum.
Yeah. Right.
And you see they have all this makeup on her to try and age her up. I was like,
but that's the little fast tail 14-year-olds was doing that back then, you know.
Ain't no 14-year-old fast enough that a man can't outrun her.
I agree. I definitely agree.
But I mean, as far as
like
the movie goes,
if they catch a Charlie horse,
they're trying to make it.
You know what? That was. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That was a bar you said. I'm going to say that every time somebody say anything about a man messing with an underage woman, I'm automatically say like, nah, ain't nope.
Don't credit me. I got it from Twitter.
For a grown man.
Yeah, ain't no girl fast enough for a grown man.
Right, right. I definitely agree. But if he catch a Charlie horse, excuse me.
Also, Q is seeing this woman.
Yeah.
We not even gonna. We not even gonna. We got. All right, we gonna get on that later because I don't know, and because you probably gonna know where I'm going with that too.
Yeah, we'll get there in a second.
I was right then and there. I was in that. It happens.
Yeah. We'll get there.
She needs to be put in jail.
Absolutely. That if nothing else struck me as an adolescent, well, as a child watching
Yeah.
this movie, it was that.
Yeah, because as a kid, it's like everybody's grown. So I guess like
right, but because I mean, Cindy from In Vogue is who the character is, so I already know this is a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? Like my mama
I
was
knew I
in Vogue.
recognized her. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, so I knew her right off the bat. I was like, dang, that's Cindy from In Vogue, But her with Q and Q's in high school, I'm like, she's obviously grown.
So at the time this was filmed, she was 31 and he was 19.
Wow. Yeah.
Know what she was getting. You know what it was about. I mean, you know what it's about when it's a older woman and a younger man.
It's about a crime. It's about a sexual assault. She gets to report.
Right. But unfortunately,
what are you doing? You're a 31-year-old nurse with your own apartment. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're a nurse. You're a divorcee. Like you're all these things. Like we start out, they make it abundantly clear that she's a grown ass woman.
Grown woman. Just
She's
getting over
a very good looking woman. She can't get somebody to be a rebound. Leave these boys.
No, but listen, I'm gonna tell you. You know why? Because a young man can bust a nut and keep it moving and keep fucking. That's what it is. She's doing divorce. She's going through it, and she just got this young dude that right now that's all she doing. She ain't no plans there. Know what I'm saying? He probably think it's gonna be something, but she ain't.
I don't care. It's gross. It's so gross.
I ain't saying it ain't. I'm just saying what it is.
Ugh.
Yeah, I get what it is, but that always stuck out to me. Like that. I always was like, this doesn't match. Like she obviously is grown and he obviously is in high school. Like this doesn't. If nothing else matched, this doesn't match. You know what I mean? So, it wasn't until later on that I saw all the other stuff that was going on as far as age-wise. Mm-hmm. But from the very first time I saw this movie, I was like, yeah, no. And I knew that back as a kid, so, but, and that was on purpose, but they didn't, but again, like with this movie, sometimes they don't really dive into stories. Yeah. Like we don't know why we're doing this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they made it abundantly obvious that this is going on, but we don't know why. So, but yeah, so he Q after he's coming from the audition and whatnot, he runs into Trip and Trip knows already, which is so funny because he literally just left. And then he runs into his crew. The crew already know, but it's just funny how the word travels that quick. Before like he could even literally right. Yeah. He literally just turned the corner. But but yeah.
Word travel faster than feet, baby.
Man. So Raheem is not there. And so they're waiting on Raheem to come. And so when Raheem gets there, he's like, all right, y'all, let's go have a talk or whatever. So they come up with the brilliant idea, emphasis on brilliant, to rob the local bodega that is ran by this guy that, busts their chops and whatnot. So Raheem comes with a gun. We don't know the story behind the gun, but we just know that he has it.
Why he
got it from Sweetie.
Yeah, I figured
he got it from Sweets.
Yeah, because later on when there's another gun, they're like, I heard you got it from Sweets, so I figured probably same place.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just was like, okay, he just popped it with a gun. So
shout out to Sweets for running a gun smuggling unit in Harlem and being a woman.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
senior citizen at that. Talking about,
At
tell,
that.
tell your mama Jackie said hi. I was like,
Right.
what? All
That
right.
lady,
Yeah, I ran into
that lady
Jackie
pussy
today.
hair was gray wool. Like that shit.
Oh wow.
That shit was steel. You can clean the motherfucking pot with that lady pussy hair. She was that tough. She tough as hell. She just cool hand. She just handing guns out in Harlem like knowing she can't be touched. Like yeah,
Right.
that lady
She's
pussy
protected.
hair strong as hell.
She's
No
definitely
fear.
protected.
No fear.
Yeah. Right. Right. But it was like, yeah, I mean, that's further down the line. But yeah, so Raheem comes with the gun. They have this brilliant idea to go on ahead and stick up the local bodega and whatnot. So they come up with the
Raheem
date.
Gives the gun to Bishop.
Yeah, gives the gun to Bishop. Not just yet though. So he holds on to the gun. Like Bishop wanted to hold on to the gun, but Raheem was like, no, I'm gonna hold on to it till the night. So the night that they came up with was the same night as the DJ competition. So they used the DJ competition as a alibi. Yeah. They used it as an alibi and it worked out. So they go to the DJ competition. Q does the first round. He wins the first round. So then he advances on. So in the interim, they go on ahead and they go to the bodega and they stick up the man. So when they stick up the man and whatnot, Bishop goes in first with the gun, excuse me, and sticks him up. They all got masks on their face and whatnot. And so he sticks them up. He sticks up the guy. The guy turns around, puts his hands up, starts crying. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. So the rest of the guys,
he's praying.
Yeah, like he's doing all kinds of stuff, which is understandable, right? So the other guys come in and they do the stick up or whatnot to get all the money out the register and whatnot. And so they are ready to go. But Bishop is still pointing the gun at the guy and then he shoots the guy.
Telling him to shut up, all the time.
Yeah. Then he shoots the guy in the head, which is completely off of the plan. He's gone rogue. So they're like, WTF, what are you doing?
Pause. I'm gonna pause there and then I'm gonna rewind it a couple of seconds because like 45 seconds before he did that, Steele had Kyle Q's name because he seen those batteries.
Right. So and because they've been there so long, or they've been going there for so long, I'm sure he knows their names.
Yeah. So and Bishop's defense and his head, he was like, shit, he knows who we are now.
However, he never brought that up.
He did.
When did he bring that up?
When they were, he brought it up later.
When they went to the first bando.
It was brief, but he did say he knew he said our name. He said my name. So yeah, he said that.
Because I just remember
this nigga said our name. He already knew who we was.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, because I remember him saying he made a move, and they was like, no, he didn't.
Right, that's the thing. I was like, why would you say that first?
That was the first thing he said, and then he clarified it with, "This dumbass nigga already said your name."
Yeah. All right. So yeah, he shoots him in the head. He's gone rogue. They're like, WTF. So then they're about to leave and then they see a cop car. So then they had to wait for the cop car to drive past, which is so wild because it wasn't like there was a silencer on the gun. Why didn't the cops hear that gunshot? But okay. So I guess we wouldn't have the rest of the movie if they caught him.
Exactly. We gotta have a movie.
So yeah.
If you're in a moving vehicle and you hear a gunshot in the bodega, it ain't really gonna sound like a gunshot though.
Probably not.
What's it gonna sound like?
It's just gonna be muffled. Like I've heard gunshots in buildings and they muffled. Like it doesn't sound like it, you know what I'm saying? You hear it like outside when you hear doom, doom, doom out there, you be like, oh, these niggas shooting. Like, nah, you'll hear that shit and be like, it's muffled as fuck. You like it sound like a gunshot. You like, is a nigga shooting? But then you're going about your business. But that's just being outside. Now imagine that being in a bodega with the door shut, and then you also in a moving vehicle.
But it just seemed like there was no sense of urgency with them. They just drove past like Scooty Doo.
Because they probably didn't even it didn't register to them. They in there listening to dispatch, talking to each other. They ain't paying attention to that. They ain't paying attention.
They was completely not paying attention.
Yeah. That's all they probably heard is doof.
Yeah.
They probably thought that was a tire.
Or another car backfiring.
Yeah. I mean, that's possible. That's possible. It always seemed odd to me because I'm like, they just so nonchalantly driving past, but but yeah, so that's what they did.
They don't have that truancy offer passion.
Right.
Truancy officer passion.
Ooh. Because them truancy officers would have came in there guns blazing.
They got it. Okay.
Right. They would have been opposite.
Truancy officers would have been like, nope, that sounds like 4 young males trying to rob somebody.
Right. I was a single shot. So they wait for the cop to roll past, and then they leave, and they run for their lives to the first bando, and they're just like, OMG, what the hell did you just do? And that's when they have the argument about first he tried to say he made a move, and then they're arguing with him like, no, he didn't. And then that's when y'all reminded me about the whole argument that he said that Still had said Q's name. So after they kind of calmed down for a second or whatnot, Raheem was like, all right, we need to get rid of the gun. Bishop, give me the gun. Bishop's like, no. And he's like, what are you talking about? Give me the gun. And he's like, you think I'm playing with you? And he pulls the gun on Raheem. So Raheem fights him. And so they have a tussle, and the gun goes off. Shoots Raheem right in the chest. And
I ain't even going to say, I'm going to pause it right there, and I ain't even going to say the gun goes off. No.
You think he did it on purpose?
He shot him.
He pushed Raheem off of him and aimed and shot. That was him losing his fucking mind.
Okay. Yeah, I can give you that.
I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Right. That was.
What do you mean you don't want to get the murder weapon that's tied to the murder that you just did? What?
Right. And he was just like, I'll give it up when I say so. But he has the power, he has the juice. So now he feels like he's in control of the crew and he can do whatever he wants.
Raheem is the one who got you the gun in the first place. Raheem is the one who's always trying to keep you out of fucking trouble.
Right. This whole time he's been the leader of the crew for a reason, because he's the most mature out of the four of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why I said I was gonna wait for my rebuttal. When we was talking about this earlier. What you have is a young man that doesn't have shit to live for, and he's trying his best to prove he's a man. At the same time, he's trying his best to prove that he's a man. He is following under another man. I've watched this growing up. As soon as that dude get an inkling of power, and I ain't saying Bishop was a bitch ass nigga, but I will say in my experience, every time a bitch ass nigga got a pistol, all of a sudden that nigga was tough as nails. And I'm like, nigga, you the same nigga that got punched in the mouth and ran under the bus because you was scared.
Right.
But now all of a sudden can't nobody say nothing to you.
Yep.
Right.
He got an inkling of power, and it was like, oh, I run everything now.
Right.
It was just one of the, that's what we have watched. We have watched him because, like Steele said, when they was at the house and Bishop was trying to say he controls him, he said, yeah, but you still can't even walk down your neighborhood without getting beat up. So I mean, you ain't controlling me. You can't control yourself. How can you control me?
Right.
And so that was what Bishop was feeling when he had that gun. He felt in full control. Now I don't need none of these niggas no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what actually happened to him.
Yeah. Yeah. He felt like he had the juice. He had the juice. He had the sauce, and and he felt that he was going to be able to take over the crew and be above Raheem, even though Raheem, like I said, is the most mature out of the four. And unfortunately, it led to Raheem's demise. And so now somebody done heard this gunshot and was like, "Hey, what's going on down there?" So they started running. And then when they start running, Bishop comes back because Raheem was the one that actually went into the cash register to get the money. So Bishop comes back and takes the money out of Raheem's pockets. When he does that, Raheem grabs him because he still has a little bit of life left in him. And he grabbed him, and then Bishop got him off of him and then ran with Steel and Q. So then they run to another bando. And
that's the point where I'm like, oh, he is really lost. He's not coming back.
right. Like the mind is gone. He's on adrenaline. Like this gun gave him a superpower. And
point,
so
you got to think. I didn't kill this old Puerto Rican nigga, and then I didn't turn around and kill my best friend. Something got to come out of this.
Yeah. Right. And now he got a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to act like it's okay. Like this was part of the plan, Meanwhile, Steel is in the corner boo-hooing. Q don't know what the hell then just happened because this has completely gone left. And he still got to go back and DJ. So Bishop is trying to split the money and trying to get his composure together.
Yeah.
And so he does all that or whatever. Then they go back to the competition. Bishop hides the gun behind a brick in this bando before they go back to the competition. And so
and why? You wanted it so bad.
I know, right?
I guess just to not have it on him because he doesn't.
He's crazy. Bishop's crazy, but he ain't no fool. He know if they come coming in this club, because they now somebody seen and somebody heard gunshots, and now they just talking about four young men was running down the street. They're busting right in that club, so you cannot have your pistol.
Yeah, and then they probably was checking in the club too.
You think so?
Okay. It's possible. They
wasn't checking in the club. He had it on him in the club.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. But now the damn gun got 2 bodies on it that we've seen. Ain't no telling how many bodies had on it before. You know what I'm saying? So he hides the gun and they go into the competition.
Hold on, time out, y'all. Mm-hmm. Don't disrespect Sweet's reputation like that. She wouldn't give nobody guns that had bodies on them. Now, if you put bodies on them, you wouldn't give them shits back to Sweets. That bitch been running it. She been running the gun marketing game since the motherfucking 70s, baby. She ain't letting that happen to her. You don't think I done marked down serial numbers, bitch? Don't hand me the same pistol I just gave you.
The Legend of Sweets.
Right. So Sweet's got a backstory.
You got a backstory. You got her fucked up. You see, Q didn't give it back to her. He threw that bitch in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Point. So
I was like, what is the point? Anyway, I mean, I know what the point is, but it was just kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Right. So they go back to the competition. Q gets up on the podium to start the competition, but the detectives come in and tell him to get down because they're all going in for questioning, right? So the 3 of them go in for questioning. They are questioned individually. Bishop comes up with a great story. Q ain't telling him nothing. Steel is crying his eyes out. But they all
tell him everything, Steel. Tell him everything.
Right. But he didn't want to, because
he's a real nigga though. Like he was. Yeah. Him crying is the fact he actually got to cry for Raheem because he was not speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And he was crying when they went to the second bando, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was his friend at the end of the day, you know?
And the
And
way he
was just
because there was
shocked.
one point in that scene where Bishop is like brushing off his jacket, and Steele's like, he's like, "Don't touch me, I'm scared of you."
Right.
Basically, I was like, "Yeah, that's some
Right.
real shit." Please don't even, he's terrified
Yeah.
of him now.
Yeah,
Right, because we don't know what he gonna do.
Yeah,
Right.
it should have never. In any way you shape this, in any of the multiverses, this don't go that way.
No, it don't. So they have this whole investigation, which is another thing that was pointed out to me while watching again recently, was that these are all underage kids being questioned and no parent inside to give permission to do so.
Yep.
Yeah.
NYPD didn't care about that shit though.
No, not at all. Which goes back to
I noticed that too. And they're being like really physical with Steele.
Right, which goes back to what happened with the Central Park 5. Yeah. So yeah, that was really on that shit back then.
They was really on that shit back then, and they was on that shit for years.
Mm-hmm.
First time I went to jail, I got questioned before anything. Anybody called any parent or any legal guardian or any of that. And first time I went to jail, I was 15, and like, yeah, they sit me down and had me locked. First of all, they locked me in for shit. If I went in at 10 o'clock, because I don't know at what exact time I went in, but I didn't even go see a detective until it was light outside. Like, they held my little ass in there.
Wow, that's crazy. They pull so many tactics to try to get confessions out of people.
Yeah,
it's insane.
The truth is not really the pursuit.
Right. And then this is the crazy part, because if you get a real cool lawyer, they can have all that shit thrown out.
If you can afford a real cool lawyer.
Right, exactly. If you get a public defender, then they're coming at you talking about some plea.
Everything is getting thrown out unless you confess to a murder. That's the only thing a lawyer can't get you off of. I don't care if your mama wasn't present. They'll strike it from the record, but they know you already you pled guilty.
You already admitted to it, yeah.
Yep.
So you just gotta connect the dots to you.
Yep.
So yeah, so we have this whole situation with them being questioned and whatnot, and then they end up leaving. And so now they are kind of distancing themselves from Bishop. They're distancing themselves from Bishop. Bishop runs into the Puerto Rican Rainbow Coalition crew. And
I was about to, you know what? I'll tell you after the show, but I was about to say some real. I thought I was being funny, and then I stopped myself like, nah, because I ain't. That's the last thing I needed, somebody to be on my head for something. I'll move on.
Right. We'll talk after we end. So he's confronted by them again. And while he's confronted by them again, he acts the same way that he did at the beginning of the movie. And then he sees Q and Steele walking up. And so when Q sees him, he stops Steele, and then they walk the other way. Mm-hmm. So that's when he realizes, okay, he's on his own. And so then the crew beats up Bishop. And while they're walking
Colors
away,
of Benetton.
I'm sorry?
The United Colors of Benetton crew.
Right. And so while they're walking away.
Y'all gotta stop.
So while they're walking away, Steele asked Q, do you think he saw us? And he was just like, yeah, he did. And so he's like,
hold on, I'm gonna pause right there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. This is where I feel like Q was wrong as hell. because I understand you got y'all going through an issue right now, but y'all issue is y'all issue. That ain't everybody else. You don't let your dude out. I understand what's been going on, but you still don't do that. Like,
But it's the same dude that killed his best friend.
And it was also ordering them around at gunpoint.
I understand that completely. And because I understand that completely, and I understand both you niggas is afraid of this nigga, y'all can't act like that. Y'all can't show that. Y'all can't be like, oh, we don't fuck with you, you no more. Because y'all scared of it. You got to play the role accordingly.
Yeah, now for that perspective, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to play the role accordingly. And you know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like Q was dumb as fuck because
he made it worse. He made it worse.
Yeah, he made it worse. I'm like, putting me in that perspective, I would, even if I don't fuck with you like that, my nigga.
I'm gonna pretend
I can't let nobody else fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
If I see it, I gotta intervene. That's what it is. Now you know we got issues, but I don't bring that shit up around nobody, and I ain't gonna let nobody do it. Because if something's gonna happen to you, it's gonna be something I do. I ain't gonna let nothing else happen to you, unless I'm. And now if I'm not there, I'm not there. But if I'm there, nah.
And I get that. I get that. And I totally 100% get that perspective and that angle of handling it. Yeah. However, I am not mad at the way Q handled it because he wants to have nothing to do with him. Like, this motherfucker got us in this situation in the first place. That was not part of the plan. You was not supposed to kill that man at the bodega, and you showing the hell wasn't supposed to kill Raheem. And I'm supposed to rock with you now? No.
I ain't gotta rock with you. I just gotta get you out of that situation, because I know what you're capable of.
Let them fuck you up, because somebody.
I think if they tried, he would have killed the other dude right then anyway, because he would have had the time.
He would have.
I don't think so.
I think so. Yeah.
I think if that would have happened, and they would have been down there, I think Steele would have been the one that, you know what I'm saying, that pushed everybody away, because Steele was already terrified of what's been going on. So I feel like if they would have went down there, he would have been getting everybody the fuck up out of there, because he don't want to see that shit again. I'm just going off of certain things that I've seen growing up, and like, so I'm like, I think Steele would have been the one if they had actually ran down there, be that kind, you know. Q wouldn't have gave a fuck, nigga. He would have let a nigga swing on a nigga and all that shit. But Steele would have just got them niggas so them niggas can get the fuck up out of there, because Steele
I don't think Bishop would have respected that, because Bishop wanted to kill him anyway. So I don't think Bishop would have respected that.
Bishop was gonna kill him. Like, at the end of the day.
I don't think he would have. I think if he would have seen that he still had the crew behind him, it would have been a different prospect. A lot of people, because
he went
a lot of
rogue.
people don't understand what it's like to actually see your crew just turn their back on you. And so that right there, again, like Tupac said,
but he turned the back on the crew first.
Extra 10, 20 minutes watching the turmoil that Bishop was going through, because Bishop did kill his fucking best friend. And so he needed them niggas to have his back, even though he was a fucking nutcase and he was off his fucking rocker. He needed somebody to still say, I got your back, my nigga.
But he didn't have that back.
Excuse me. I totally get that. However, he went rogue. He's not to be trusted. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not saying that.
And if he shot the man in the bodega, if he shot his best friend, what you think he gonna do to his enemy?
I understand that completely.
He was definitely gonna shoot him. If it wasn't gonna be that day, it was going to be a day. But at the end of the day, he was going to shoot him. Like, it was just inevitable.
I agree with that, but it wouldn't have been that day.
Shoot, rather that day and have me have no parts in it than for me to be witness to it.
I still don't listen. When you dealing with somebody that you feel like is off their rocker, man, ain't taking their meds, doing whatever, and you got to play a certain way. Like, they should have played a certain way with Bishop, because Bishop is a hothead. You know this is gonna it's gonna end up unraveling on him, and you know you're going to be get the grunt of it. You know you are, but I'm not gonna make that shit happen any faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I totally get that. I got to know what I'm saying. These niggas, all this shit went off random. You got to go. You got to have a plan. That was one thing about me as a young man. I was like, nah, You can't make you. I can't make a flash decision because I don't know what this nigga is doing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I get that. I totally get that. But I'm not mad at how Q handled it. Like
I'm not either. I ain't saying
Because
that.
all of the choices were bad. All of the choices were bad.
There was a whole lot of bad choices in this movie. A whole lot, you know what I'm saying? But for Q not to be involved, I'm not mad at that. Now I will say this because I did skip something. Which really showed how diabolical Bishop was the repass. Raheem's repass. So they're at the repass and whatnot. And Steele and Q are distraught. They're not eating, all this type of stuff. So they go and talk to the sister and the mom of Raheem. And then here come Bishop. And Bishop is acting like the perfect gentleman and saying how Raheem was his best friend and he been asking around on who did this. And, they were together all the time and he loved him like a brother, hugging them and giving his condolences and all this type of stuff, all while he is the fucking killer.
And
Q is
he
watching
also
this
introduces himself to the mother as if she's never met him.
He said, "Remember me."
Yeah,
he was like,
she should remember him from like last week. Like what?
Last week?
I peeped that too. Like,
what happened last week?
I'm just saying they're together so often. It should not be. Do you remember?
He knows
me?
who the crew is,
right?
Well, I didn't take it like that because I mean you're around your crew way more than you're around their parents. So,
but your mama know who your crew is.
Your mama should
know. Raheem was a teenage father. His mama knew who his crew was.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
That part was just kind of strange to me.
I didn't take it like that. I didn't take it as odd. Yeah,
but it's
kind
of
so many odd things
like,
going on, but that one didn't stick out to me.
Yeah, it's definitely at this point where he's having like a real Bishop is like just turns into a psychotic killer.
Yes, and Q is watching him do this. Like this motherfucker is diabolical,
and it turns into like a horror movie.
Yes,
vibe totally changes.
Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to that. So I'm glad you said that. We will definitely get to that in a moment. So we have the repass, and then we have when he shoots the dude of the Rainbow Coalition of Gangs, and then so now he got 3 bodies on him at this point.
Yes.
Yep.
So
he shot him 3 times.
Yes. Riverside, motherfucker. So yeah. So now Q just don't know what to do with his life. So what do you do when you don't know what to do with your life? You start to act right and you go to school. So I actually have the clip of when Q and Bishop are conversing at school. So I'm gonna play that right now.
Okay.
What's up? I ain't seen in a couple of days. What's been happening? Man, get off that shit. It's over. It ain't nothing nobody can do about it now.
What do you want from me, man?
Nothing. Just came to see if you was all right. See how you been doing.
Well, I ain't talked to nobody, right?
I know. Always will be. I just came to see what's up.
Let me tell you something, B. I'm only playing your fucking game because ain't shit else to do. But don't you ever pull a gun on me again in your life.
Well, I hope I won't have to.
Yeah, we all go down if you do, because we all crew. Just try me if you think I'm bullshit.
Look at this. The brother finally decides to stand up like a man and throw down. Too bad Raheem had to die first, huh? It's over. Everything starts from now. We all go down unless we stay together. Ain't no one man above the crew. You know that shit.
Crazy, man.
You know what? When you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now, you're right. I am crazy. But you know what else? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about Steel. And I don't give a fuck about Raheem either. I don't give a fuck about myself. Look, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you less of a man than me, so as soon as I decide that you ain't gonna be shit, so be it. You remember that, motherfucker. Because I'm the one y'all need to be worried about. Partner.
So yes.
Am I
It
fucked
does,
up because I was just reciting that shit word for word?
me too. Yeah. Me too. So I pulled that clip for a couple of reasons. One, because me watching it as a kid, that was the scariest part of the movie to me. So that's why I was like, I'm glad you brought that up, that it turned into a horror, because it low key did. Because him being behind that locker was like, whoa. And that nigga's crazy. This motherfucker is diabolical. And then
he jumps out at Steel later too, out of the
yes,
dark. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right.
Hopped up like a Ninja Turtle, and you ain't even seen him.
Dude. So, yeah, that was a standout scene. Like, that's when you knew, even though this was his first movie, that's when you knew he really had the acting chops.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
that scene right there was just like amazing. He did that. He did that shit. Like
He did.
You know,
he definitely has the range.
Yes.
I will say, you got to peep what he said. It was like this is at a height of, in his mind, the world is actually crashing down, and like the reason why he did that is because he watched them niggas abandon him, so he went into a full blown panic mode of it is just me.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you watch that scene when they in that hallway, you realize that scene would have never happened if he wouldn't have seen them niggas walk away from him.
Yeah.
Because at that moment, that's when he realized, because he already knew the mistake he made.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, he realized, yeah, I'm just a gutter ass niggas. These niggas, if Raheem wouldn't have died and I'd have did something to fuck up, y'all would have abandoned me anyway. So I ain't shit. I have super abandonment issues anyway. So you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about Steel, and I don't give a fuck about motherfucking Raheem. And you know what? I don't give a fuck about myself. Like, because y'all showed me I shouldn't give a fuck because y'all didn't give a fuck about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I understand everything he did. At the same time, he still, in his mind, in his shattered mind, he still thought the crew is the crew. The crew still should be there. Like he said, no one man stands above the crew. Fuck Raheem. Y'all still should be
Except for him, I guess.
That's how he was thinking.
I mean, he's the one man standing above the crew, though.
Right.
In his mind, he like, okay,
threatening them and killing them.
Supposed to be behind me. See, he always wanted to be a leader, didn't know what it takes to be a leader.
Right.
No.
And so those type of people always take leadership as aggression. You're supposed to do it because I said so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's telling what he was saying. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In that scene. Like there's a lot to unpack in that scene. You know, because he's it's already been like, you know, embedded in him that he just ain't gonna be shit, and he's okay with that, you know.
And that's definitely the point where I was like, I want to know more about this character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to know more about him.
Somebody should do a movie right now. You gotta take all the elements we talking about and then do a prequel and just call it Bishop.
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that. You know, and you can get the same dude that played Tupac in All Eyes on Me. That horrible ass movie. But nonetheless, the dude looks like his doppelganger.
Yeah.
You know. So just
or the guy who's in Fresh Prince or Bel Air, he plays what was his friend? Jazz. In the new Bel Air series, he looks a lot like him. That could work.
Yeah, he does favor him. But the dude that played him in All Eyes on Me, that's his doppelganger.
Yeah.
That dude look just like him.
He do look like Pac. Like it's crazy. He just got a fatter face. That nigga look like Pac.
Yeah. Just like him. Just like him. It sucks that that movie was so damn bad, but
terrible movie.
Oh God. But yeah, we digress. So so yeah. But yeah, I would love for somebody to do a prequel. Kind of like Joker-esque prequel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
give him a backstory. Start from when he was young.
Yeah.
And then end when like right before the shit of Juice actually happened.
Yes. Yeah. I would definitely love to see that. I'll be there opening night.
Well, we said it first on Movies with Roomies. So if y'all do this, y'all better cut him a check.
Right. We got a lot of checks on the way. So
right. Yeah.
They're in the mail.
It out for
right. So so yeah. So we have that scene or whatever. That's when Q is just like, you know what? I am done with that dude. And Bishop knows it, you know what I'm saying? So he tries to he pops up on Steel. He tries to start this plan in motion to try to set up Q. And so he pops up on Steel. They go and hang out. And then after they hang out, he isolates him.
Well, Steel is there, but also at the same time, Q is with that 31-year-old woman in her apartment. And the phone rings.
Giving this lady an age.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, and that's the thing. Like this is known. This is known to the point where Steel has her number and knows it by heart. Like, so because he called him while they were hanging out at the girl's house and was just like, yo, you need to come get me. He is crazy.
Scared.
Right. I'm scared. He's crazy. Come get me. Help, nigga. So, Q's on the way or whatever. And so, Bishop is extremely paranoid. He's like, who you on the phone with? Blah, blah, blah. So then he goes and isolates him and shoots him, right? All in the meanwhile, Q, before he goes to find Steel, he does go to Sweets and gets a gun from Sweets, the infamous Sweets that we've been talking about this whole time.
Started off in 1972, baby.
Right.
It was a simpler time back then. Niggas knew how to run numbers. Everybody sold a little bit of dope, but people stayed out the way. And that's how I started the game, right?
Right.
Story on Sweets.
Right. We should get a short story. Right. So yeah. So he gets the gun or whatever. And so he's pretty paranoid as well. He goes to Trip, tells him, hey, can you get a message to Bishop for me? Well, Trip also tells him that, word around town is that you're the one that's out here killing everybody. And so he's just like, man, you know me. You know that's not me. He was like, well, I've known a lot of killers since they were kids. Like, that doesn't mean anything. So,
I'm gonna pause there too, and I'm gonna bring up another funny moment. When he opened the door, because Q was in the dark, and then he opened the door, turned on the light, and Q was right there. Shout out to Samuel L. Jackson for just
not losing his composure,
not being not being phased at all in that shit. Like he looked and was like, I thought you would be way gone out of town by now, nigga. Like, he didn't even give a fuck about him standing there. And then when the nigga told him he didn't know what to do, that nigga, he said, man, what you hear? He said, man, you done slid down a razor blade into an alcohol river. Like, nigga, you up
like,
shit creek, my dude.
Who said that?
That's one hell of a visual.
Right.
You done slid down a razor blade into an alcohol river. You fucked up, young man.
Royally. I caught that the last time I watched it, and I was just like, geez, that sounds painful.
It took everything in my body not to laugh when I heard that shit. I don't know why, but it was just like, yeah, it makes sense coming from a 38-year-old man.
Right. So, he tells Trip
we need to set her up with him. They can be age appropriate together.
Facts.
Nah, she want a broke dick. She want a broke dick. She want a nigga that ain't got no money and all he got is dick. So that's what she want.
Gross.
She don't want the nigga that own a fucking pool hall.
And Trip compared to Q, that ain't her type.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
That ain't her type. So
she just got rid of a Carlton impression.
Yeah, but a chip on his shoulder. So no, Q is what she wants.
He was awful.
He was terrible. But so I understand a divorce.
Yeah, she was so done. She wasn't even phased. Like that was the part.
Right. She was over it.
And he was throwing shit.
I was laughing at that nigga because I was like, that must be one of those niggas that people talk about. I don't have no clue of what these niggas is, but these type of niggas that think they big and bad because of their position, and then they real coward ass niggas in real life. It's like to parade a young man around you and then put your drawers in that nigga face. Boy, you a soft ass nigga for real.
Right. So Q. So I mean, names like Mustafa and Akbar are too hard to spell. Sir, if you don't get the hell up out my face.
And see, at first I was like, why is he picking on this child? And then I was like, well, why is she kissing this child? So like, what are we
right. At the end of the day, this is a child. This is a child.
In her mind, she went from a dude who can bust once and keep going to a nigga that pissed on his own balls. Like, this nigga is definitely giving little dick energy.
Yeah.
That's true.
So very true. But I get it. I get it. I don't get the underage part, but I get getting rid of him.
Yeah,
so,
100%.
Yeah. But yeah. So Trip charges a fee to get messages to people. So he gave him $1. He gave him $1. He was like, it's all I got, G.
But you just told Sweet you had 25.
Right. But remember, she didn't charge him.
Exactly. So how you only got $1?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Maybe he got something to eat on the way. I don't know. Like,
see, what nobody peeped in that is what I peeped in that is, when Bishop gave this nigga Trip this info, he probably kicked him in some money. Like, boom, spread that around. Because at that point, we seen in the beginning how knew about this nigga getting in this contest. Trip was the ear to the street. So he slipped him some money, told him, hey, this nigga the one that did everything. And so Trip the one spreading this rumor.
mm-hmm.
So, of course, when he gave him that $1 and he talked to Bishop, you know what he told him? He told him everything he knew on the street. So he was like, hey man, you better be careful because that nigga's strapped. He just went to Sweets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's one of them things where, you know, I when I was looking, like, Trip was all the way a slime ball ass nigga.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
No doubt.
But yeah, but you need those type of people to move the story along.
Yeah.
And that's
He was a slime
exactly
ball.
what he
That
did.
nigga,
Right. He
they
did
should have
that to
set
a
it up
T.
better. They should have set that shit up better.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did that to a T. So so we have Q and Bishop. They end up meeting right before they met. He goes to the river and he throws the gun that he just received from Sweets into the river because he was about to shoot a homeless person because he's so freaking paranoid. So he was just like, this ain't me. I'm gonna go
He's
on
like,
ahead
what
and
is happening to me? And I'm
right.
like, trauma.
Yeah, trauma all the way around. So when he meets Bishop, of course, Bishop pulls on him because he heard that he had got a gun from Sweets. And he was just like, I ain't got it. You're going to have to go to the river and get it if you want it that bad. So
And
then
he
they
doesn't believe him.
Yeah, he doesn't believe him. So he pats him down. Then they get into it. And when they get into
I'm
it.
going to pause on that. I'm going to pause on that part right there too.
Yeah.
And because I'm a pause because I even though they didn't try to get into the psyche of Bishop, I'm gonna get into the psyche of Bishop. When he patted him down and he seen he didn't have the pistol, remember in his head, this nigga is we all ain't shit. We this is how we supposed to be. In his mind, that's why he called him. That's why he told him, "You dumb motherfucker," because he like nigga, that's how you supposed to be out here.
Mm-hmm.
You supposed to be protected. Like
right.
Even in that category, he was still stunning him. He was still looking at him like he a little brother. Because after he patted him down and realized he didn't have it, he was like, "You dumb motherfucker! Like, dude, I'm about to kill you. Protect yourself, my nigga."
Right. Like you already know I'm strapped, so why the hell would you come?
Yeah, why did you do that
nothing?
Dumb shit?
Right. No, I get it too, because that's how I looked at it. It was like, that's the last person I'm gonna go meet on purpose without nothing. Like, no. I totally understand him being like, man, this ain't me. I totally get that because he did almost shoot that homeless person, but in the same breath, I would have composed myself enough to come to this meeting with a gun. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it ain't in him, and I'm not faulting him for that. It just ain't in him,
because he tells Bishop, "I'm not you."
Right. So when they have their argument or whatever, what's his name, Bishop, he pretty much lays out the plan because mind you, he shot Steele, and he believes that Steele is dead. However, Steele is not dead. Steele got himself to the hospital, and at the hospital is where Cindy's character is.
Hello, nurse.
Yeah, she's a nurse there. And so she goes to see Steele because she saw him come in. And that's when Steele runs the play to her, what Bishop is trying to do. So Bishop runs the play to Q. Basically, what he's trying to do is set Q up for all the murders. And he's going to kill Q in self-defense because he was the only one man enough to get the gun from him. So they end up getting into it, and then Q runs away. And while he's running away, Bishop is shooting at him. Now all of a sudden, he done shot all these people. Now all of a sudden, he can't aim for nothing because he doesn't get him for a while. Then he finally gets his arm. When he gets his arm or whatnot, okay, he got shot in the arm, but he sure didn't act like it.
I don't think he was shot. I think he was grazed.
I think I was about to say I think it was grazed. But the thing that don't nobody even realize is this nigga Bishop got this gun, and then when shit hit the fan, this nigga got bullets.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, where did he get all these bullets from? Because I was like,
dude, I always had that question. Like, how many rounds is in this dang old pistol? I was like, he must have used his portion from the robbery to get bullets. I mean,
that's all he got. Right?
That's exactly what he did. He wouldn't
Because
got
I've
bullets.
always had that question. Like, when did he get these bullets? You know? So, but yeah, he was letting them off. And so, yeah. So they end up going into an apartment building, and they got into the elevator. And when they got into the elevator was loaded because they're all going to one floor because there's like this party going on on that floor, whatever. And so Q thinks that he is home free in the elevator, but right before the elevator doors close, here come Bishop. And so Bishop is staring him down. And so everybody's quiet, of course, because everybody doesn't know what's going on. Q was like, so you gonna shoot me in the elevator? And that's when Bishop diabolical ass pulls the gun out and tries to shoot him in the elevator. This nigga's ill. So
now, shout out to the extra that grabbed the fucking pistol and walked Bishop. Yeah.
With all them bodies on it.
That's a real life fight or flight move he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was that nigga was just going to a party, but that nigga was a real nigga. That nigga was not about to get shot that day.
He said nobody's about to get shot right now.
Yeah. Right then and there. Nah, this ain't the day.
He came to party.
Yeah, I came back. Exactly what you said. I came here to party. I didn't come here for that bullshit. You got me fucked up. That nigga grabbed that shit and walked that nigga out that motherfucker and then took off running.
Right. He was like, I came to party, get high, get on these hoes, and you're fucking up the program.
You fucking up. I'm about to go home.
Okay.
We fucked up.
Yep. So so they go through this party or whatever, and Q goes out the window to go to the roof, and Bishop follows him or whatnot. So they end up on the roof, and they have a fight on the roof. And during this fight,
hold on, pause on that, because Bishop the one got on the roof. Q followed Bishop.
Okay,
yeah, Q followed Bishop.
So Q followed Bishop to the roof, and so while they're on the roof, they have the fight or whatnot, and
because
Bishop swings.
I'm like, we know Bishop doesn't have the gun, and you're injured. Why are we still doing?
Yeah. So they have this fight, and Bishop swings and misses. When he swings,
got a whole Home Depot up there. He's like got a 2x4, and he picks up a pipe and stuff.
Yeah, all these random items on the roof. Yeah.
It's giving Streets of Rage. What's happening?
Yeah.
Still, it proved, like I said in the beginning, like his Bishop ain't a fighter. He ain't nobody that stood. He always waited for his crew to back him up. When he got that gun, he was big and bad. Like, when he didn't have that gun, he was letting a nigga like Q whoop his ass.
Right. Which happened. And when he swung, he missed and he went over the ledge. And when he went over the ledge, Q tried to save him. So he was holding on to him, but he can only hold on to him for so long. And
he only got one good arm.
Right. He used
now at this moment.
Right. Any other time he was fine.
20 stories up to the fucking roof.
Right.
But now his arm don't work.
Now
his legs are fine.
Right. But no, he was using his arm on
his arms to climb that goddamn roof.
Yeah, he was using his arm on the ladder.
What you talking about? That nigga was moving that arm.
Right.
Then when he got there, all of a sudden his arm don't work when it comes to pulling my nigga up.
Man, like he wasn't he wasn't dripping blood or nothing. Like
that was one thing I was like, this is very not a bloody wound. So that's why I was like, he couldn't have been shot.
Yeah, because I'm like, there was maybe a drop on his thumb at best, He
was great, but his jacket was more wounded than him.
Exactly. So he ends up letting go of Bishop, and Bishop falls to his demise. And so when
He
he
literally
turns,
falls in a chasm that's so dark and deep you can't see
Like, yeah, that nigga Bishop fell
the
straight to hell.
bottom. Literally, yeah.
yeah, like,
That's what it
literally,
looked like.
yeah. So so yeah, and then you hear him yelling, ah! Boom, and that was that. So Q puts his hood on and turns around, and he sees that there is an audience.
Like everybody from the party is upstairs watching. I'm like, y'all couldn't help?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
Not one person.
That's the whole thing that I didn't understand. I'm like, so y'all seen two niggas running up the roof. A couple of you niggas went the route that they went, and the rest of you niggas took the elevator. But y'all really want to see this shit unfold.
Right.
That would not be me.
And then on top of that, like, y'all knew one of them had a gun at least. And you don't know where the gun went. So I'm not running towards anybody to see a fight that I know that one of them may potentially have a gun.
And see, that's the thing. Like, they don't know, but they see this guy's asking for help, and this other guy's trying to help him, and you're just suddenly on the roof, and you're like, I'm just gonna watch.
Right. And then there's that. And we're not in the day of age of people pulling their phones out recording. We're not there yet. So yeah, normally it would have been somebody, at least one person, to go over there and try to help him pull up Bishop. But we wouldn't have this dramatic ending had that happened. So he turns around, he sees the audience. One person is visibly upset. She's turning around, crying on somebody's shoulder. And
what did y'all come up here for?
Yeah, he walks towards them, and they part like the Red Sea. And while he's walking towards them to try to leave, one of them is like, "Yo, you got the juice now." And he looked at him like he wanted to be like, "Mother," and then he just was like, "Nah." And there you have it. That is Juice. So
I didn't get that because I was like, now that all of his friends are dead?
Well, they don't know it.
Well, to put it in perspective of for me, of a hood day, it was like, when you hear certain things going on about certain people and then you're actually witnessing a climax. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, again, it was all about getting the juice. I guess you're the man now.
I guess because they weren't even like a real gang or anything like that. So it wasn't like
you just a man now. Everybody knew what was going on with y'all, so I guess you the man now.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. He might have lost all of his friends. We don't know what happens to Steele.
Right, they don't know that Steele is alive.
Yeah,
is he?
He's alive.
Did he make it through the night?
Yeah, because right before Cindy's character went to go talk to Steele, you can hear the cops saying that he'll be all right. I mean, not the cops, but the doctor saying he'll be all right.
He was gonna make it.
Yeah. So, yeah, but Maria, since this is your first time viewing Juice, what was your initial thoughts?
I really like the performances. All the performances were really good, especially Tupac. With his dramatic turn and kind of a psychopathic twist. Like he's excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the writing needs help, but I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I really liked the way New York was shot in the movie. Very classic feel to it. It still looks good, despite what the surroundings are. Like, it looks real, feels real.
Yeah.
I just wish we had, gotten more characterization, story, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we've said a few times in this review, I watched this as a kid, and I knew Tupac from Digital Underground back then. So to see him in this role was like, OMG, like that was the thing that pulled me to watch the movie just on top. I mean, just off the top, was Tupac. You know, um, didn't know the rest of them. This was Omar Epps' first movie, so didn't know him, but he stood out as being a really good actor in this movie as well. All of them, did a good job. And of course, we didn't know who Samuel L. Jackson was back then. We probably remember him from Jungle Fever, but outside of that, not too much of anything.
No.
Do you have any initial thoughts? Any nostalgic thoughts, LeeLee?
My nostalgic thoughts was I really love how I seen a bunch of artists that was in this movie, hip hop artists and just actual comedians, actors, things of that nature. They had cameos in this, not even cameos, even just they're just in the movie. I like that a lot. I love the backdrop. A lot of people don't pay attention to, and I implore y'all to pay attention to. When they had the backdrop of Harlem, they had this spot called Kansas Fried Chicken, and I actually looked it up, and it's an actual real spot in Harlem. It's very expensive. Now I'm in my mind, I'm thinking like it might be a staple because it's been there since 1992. Because when I look under it, it has the $4 signs. So I'm like, it's probably high as a bitch to get a 2-piece in that bitch.
Probably.
But they got nostalgic because they was in a fucking movie.
Yeah. I wonder if that has
also gentrification. Maybe.
Yeah, it's because it has a Kansas in New York they have a Kansas chicken and fried chicken and burgers, but then they also have a Kansas fried chicken, and the Kansas fried chicken is in Harlem, and this is about a group of dudes in Harlem.
Yeah.
Also, Donald Faison's in this movie. He plays a random student.
Donald Faison is
he
was the dude that checked Q about being back in school.
Yeah. Like it's been that long.
Can't really be a locker combination.
Right.
But apparently he auditioned for the role of Bishop.
He did?
Yeah.
They picked the right person.
Holy for sure.
I know this is gonna sound ignorant as hell, but especially back then, it was hard for me to take light-skinned people being hard seriously. It was.
Well, I was just gonna say Tupac is probably always the right choice. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say this.
There's
because a lot of people fail to realize this back in the day, especially in the early 90s. You gotta understand that like light-skinned niggas always had a bad stigma, especially the light-skinned niggas with good hair. So what they would do is they would shave their heads bald all the time. So them bald head light-skinned niggas, they were a problem. Legit. They were a real ass problem.
Okay. Who was bald back then? That was light skinned.
It was a lot of hood niggas that was bald and light skinned.
Really?
Just because they didn't want to be the typical light skinned nigga with good hair. And so I knew a couple of light skinned niggas that was bald. They would shave their shit off, and they was causing fucking trauma. Like they was causing pain around this motherfucker. Like real shit. I used to be like, damn, these niggas tripping. That's what I ain't gonna lie. I think that shit resonated from California because that's what niggas was doing in California. Light skin or dark skin, you was shaving your head because SIBO told you niggas to be a bald head nut.
Wow, you took it to SIBO. Okay. Yeah. We all know where SIBO ended up. Yeah,
we do. But you got to remember, SIBO was his fans was the bald head nuts. They was all bald head niggas.
Okay. Yeah. That is hilarious.
I'm just saying. He could have because we didn't know who he was. So he would
Yeah.
have played a light-skinned bald head nigga. In the
Y'all
90s,
would've
they
took
would have been
him
like,
seriously.
all light-skinned niggas is crazy as fuck.
See, y'all would have took him seriously. There would have been no way that I could have took Donald Faison, bald head or with hair, as Bishop. There's no way. No, they picked the right person. Absolutely.
That's because you only know Donald Faison for what you've seen Donald Faison in. Before Waiting to Exhale and all the other shit, Donald Faison was a nobody.
I understand that. But like I said before, I didn't take light-skinned dudes seriously. Like in serious thug roles. I know it sounds ignorant, but I just didn't. You know? I just didn't.
It's been some thoroughbred ass light-skinned niggas though.
I'm sure. But
Did you watch Power, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Ghost was a thoroughbred light-skinned nigga.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, that's now. We're talking about that back then. There's no way.
I mean, back then, colorism, very real, very strong. So,
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
It's still, I mean, it still is now. But yeah, but even, yeah.
Yeah.
I just depending on the demographic, because you got to think, shit. If we are talking colorism, Boys in the Hood, Cube was a light skinned nigga with good hair and was the gangster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't really look at Cube as light skinned though. You look at him as brown, like he's my color. Even though I know people want to say I'm light skinned, but I'm brown.
Do you mean Raheem?
No, he's talking about Boys in the Hood, Ice Cube.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Right. He was saying he was the hardest one, but he light skinned. But I'm like,
he was considered light skinned back then, though.
Yeah. But compared to Cuba Gooding Jr.,
right,
he's not light skinned. You know what I'm saying? Once you have a comparison that beats you in the light skin Olympics, like.
So we kind of play this game on Nerdgasm Noir. We call it Guess Who's Coming to Juneteenth.
Uh-huh.
And this sounds like what we're doing right now.
Yeah,
what, the light skin Olympics?
Yeah, light skin Olympics. I mean, it just is what it is. I guess I got a very different stance on what it is to be light skinned.
I think everybody has their own interpretation.
Yeah, because Q was labeled as light skinned.
Yeah, and to me, I would agree with Lindsay. Like, to me, he would be brown.
Right. But like I said, people think I'm light skinned. I've never looked at myself as light skinned. I always looked at myself as brown.
I tell people all the time, even my girl don't believe me, but like the family I grew up in, I was the dark skinned dude.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody that's lighter than me is light skinned.
Mm-hmm. Right.
My girl tell me all the time, nigga, you are not dark. I'm like, yes, I am. Like, fuck are you talking about?
Right. And my mom is like your complexion, but I always looked at her as dark skinned. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it just all depends on who you talk to, because my grandma is like lighter than Maria, and she said that she was dark skinned, and I'm like, huh? I said, I used to think you were white. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm like.
I don't know who she was comparing.
I'm a member of the Khaki Coalition, ma'am. I don't know. Like,
I don't know who she compared herself to, but she said she was dark skinned. We all looked at her sideways, and I was like, I used to think you were white. What are you talking about?
I never understood it. I was always, if I wasn't dark skinned, they used to call me the liquor store brown paper bag.
Not the liquor store.
That's very specific.
They said I'm
not the lunch one, not the one that you go to the grocery store, but the liquor store one specifically.
Yeah,
right.
You know how niggas used to crack on each other? Motherfuckers used to crack on me in high school because they used to tell me I look like a liquor store brown paper bag.
That's wild.
The stuff that we used to come up with.
I used to be like, what the fuck? That's when I started coming up with weird ass shit to tell niggas, because I was like, I'm not about to ain't nobody about to keep getting that shit off on me.
Right. When I
used to tell niggas dumb shit. I remember I told a nigga his mama looked like he started the LA riots, and like the whole lunch table died laughing. And I was like, yeah, because I gotta come up with some shit, because y'all not about to keep
what does that mean?
She was the first one to throw the cocktail. Like,
Yeah, just out of nowhere. I'll never forget that because I remember the lunch table going stupid nuts. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, nigga, your mama looked like she started the LA riots, nigga.
how do you even look like?
I don't know. Look, exactly. That's the point. Like, you're like, what?
Exactly.
It just
And
short
that
circuits your
was
brain.
so funny about it.
Right.
And that just fell off my head. I was just like, fuck it. Here we go.
Right. We can say some shit, boy. We are a funny culture.
Mm-hmm.
If we're nothing else, we are funny as shit. Cause we're gonna get these jokes off, whether it makes whether it makes sense or not. We're gonna get these jokes.
Like,
but
that moment, every nigga on that table, like, picture this nigga mama and just bust out laughing.
Right. 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 So so yeah, back to Juice. So I know we talked about prequels, but could y'all see a remake in present time of this film?
Nah, hell nah. Only way I can see a remake is if it's when them niggas is getting out of jail.
So you can see a continuation.
Yeah. I mean, because if you fully think about it, actor still got shot. If he survived, he's gonna tell everything. So
oh yeah, he's spilling the beans.
Going to jail for the bodega murder.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's definitely spilling the beans. Which is unfortunate. Because I mean they're getting them before they can even try to start a life, you know. But
That's the end of Q's DJ career.
Right. So I mean, but he can always DJ at the prison talent shows. But I can see it being remade. What about you, Maria?
I can see it being remade, but again, in like a different format. I'm always saying, you know, limited series kind of thing, because then you're able to dig into characters and motivations and things like that.
Right. And definitely, I definitely can see that, and I think that would be a big success as well.
I think Juice would be better off as a series.
Yeah. Because we can dive in more, because like all we know about like Steel is that, like, you know, his parents were like blue collar. You know, that's all we know. Mm-hmm. You know, they were together and they were blue collar.
Yeah, he was the only one that had a quote unquote real daddy.
Right. And you can tell they was just pretty much by the book as far as living life and whatnot. But that is a story. You know, that is a story. But they all have interesting backgrounds, because another person that we saw in this movie at a very little age is the son from New York Undercover.
You remember me from that. I just remember being Cal Jr.
Yeah, Michael Cal Jr. Yeah, right. On My Wife and Kids.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he was so cute as a little boy with his slick talking self. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like a lot of people were in this film. And you know, the budget for this film was only $5 million.
That's wild.
And they made 20. So,
I mean, you know what? I ain't even gonna lie. Just to say that it's just like it's downplaying the movie, because like just $5 million in 1992, people were making movies for $300,000-$400,000. They spent $5 million on this.
Yeah.
It was. This was a big deal. This was a big. It was like a cultural awakening.
Yeah. And they did a twist on a coming of age movie.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, going back to what Maria said, like it did low key turn into a horror. It was like a real life horror, you know.
Yeah, you're hitting those horror beats. You're getting this, element of surprise. He's like stalking people.
Mm-hmm. All that,
Yeah.
all that, all that. So let's get into our rating system. So we have 1 movie real trash AF, 2 it exists, 3 entertaining, 4 great, 5 a true classic. So Maria, what say you?
I'm gonna go with a 4.
4?
Say it's great.
Yes.
The only reason it wouldn't be like a true classic for me is because I want more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's a great movie.
Right.
But you can definitely see all the elements that we know now from hood movies and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can see the archetypes that were set up here. So it was incredibly influential in terms of movies at the very least. But I remember like people talking about this movie when it came out.
Yeah. LeeLee, what say you?
For me, it is definitely a true classic. I grew up in the era of I watched people living a similar life. I watched how people had they were so infatuated with their dreams that they didn't care about high school, and then I watched people crash and burn because of another man. I got homies that went to jail because of a robbery gone wrong. Like it's a true classic to me because it speaks to something that I actually seen. So I can respect Juice for what it is. Even watching it now, I can respect it to even look at it as an older man and be like, damn, like the shit that I was watching as a kid in real life with 16, 17-year-olds, 20, 22-year-olds, they were still babies. They were still babies going through this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't do nothing but call it a classic because I actually seen these type of things happen, and so it came from a real spot. It came from a real perspective, regardless of how it was wrote or what we missed out on. It came from a real perspective, and I can vouch for that. Being a 9-year-old watching watching all of my OGs go through a lot of stuff. And my thinking about it now, my OGs was 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
I felt like they were grown going through this.
Right. Yeah. For me, I would give it a 4.5. For basically the
I
same
know we were
reason.
doing halves.
We've done halves before.
You're right. I could have done
Yeah. But basically for the same reasons why you didn't give it a 5, Maria, because I want more. There was a whole lot to unpack with this story. That I get why we didn't, because it was it would have been a 3-hour movie had we did that, you know.
Yeah,
But
probably.
yeah, but in the same breath, it does lend you to want more from it, like prequels, like a series, like whatever the possibility is, like to get more out of it. But I've always loved this movie from the beginning, for so many different reasons. But one of the things that I love about this movie, watching it recently, is how well it has aged. It aged very well.
Very well.
And I've watched, and then it's still entertaining. Like, I have watched this movie since last week when I announced it. I've watched it like 3 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like it's such a good watch. And that's just like within a week I've watched it 3 times. Like I can't even tell you how many times I've watched it in life. You know what I mean?
It's definitely a good movie. It's definitely one of those movies that I can see back and forth. Right now, I only got 2 movies that I know I can watch every time they're on the screen, and that's New Jack City and The Exorcist. But like
The
Juice,
Exorcist.
yes.
That's like a 3. Whew, that's a long ride. Okay.
Yeah.
I fuck
I do
with-
Purple Rain like that.
but Juice is one of them that I'm like, okay, I can actually see myself sitting down and watching that.
Yeah. I can't watch it. I can't watch Juice on TV. It's too
absolutely.
edited for me.
Oh,
Like it's gonna piss
You
me
know
off.
what? The funny part is when I
Everybody's
watch
Mickey
Juice on TV, I just only look for crucial moments.
Mm-hmm. But those crucial moments are filled with a bunch of cuss words that I need to hear, especially like the high school scene.
The high school
Like,
scene is crazy.
yeah,
Because if you watch it, like when they used to play it on TV, if you watch it, because I remember this to this day. On that high school scene, this is how it goes. When you told me I was crazy, I was kind of bugging, right? It's crazy. And I realized, you know what? You right. I am crazy. And I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about you. I don't give a damn about Steele. And I surely don't give a damn about Raheem. I'm like, surely?
right.
And I surely don't give a damn about Raheem. I said, damn, they really reaching with that shit.
I ain't spit. Right. I ain't
I
never gonna
spit,
be
Lord.
You ain't spit.
Right.
Like, all of that is so classic. That is so classic. It's right up there with New Jack City when they was on the rooftop. And he was talking to his brother, and he was like, you think I give a fuck about that bitch? I don't give a fuck about that bitch. Fuck that bitch. And then when you watch it on TV, he like, you think I give a damn about that skeezer? Forget that
Right.
skeezer. Don't nobody need that skeezer. I said,
Right. Everybody's a
my
skeezer
God.
on the TV version. It is so hilarious.
Oh my God. I know there was another one where they just turned everything into Mickey Ficky.
Yeah, or Mother Lover.
Mm-hmm.
They do Mother Lover too. But that is our review of 1992's Juice. So Maria, what are we watching next week?
What are we watching next week? So have you seen Fern Gully?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I don't remember it, but I do remember seeing it. But I don't.
Fern Gully?
I don't know. I remember seeing it, but I just don't remember it.
See, LeeLee, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Those are the movies y'all review, Fern Gully?
Well, just movies that you haven't, the other hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was on my mind recently because there's been this meme going around that they're gonna do a live action Fern Gully.
Oh yeah.
We don't need that.
All right. So it is on let's see, this is the first one. Because there's only one, right? Yeah, there's only one. No,
Yeah,
there's
it's only
two.
one.
There's two.
I was about to say, I think it's a sequel to
It was
Fern.
a sequel?
Yeah, there's the sequel. Fern Gully 2, The Magical Rescue. So we're doing Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, I believe.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
So
one.
that one, it's on Tubi, it's on Pluto.
Is it?
Let's show me here.
Sure is. Okay. That works.
Yes.
It's on Stars. It's on Plex.
It's everywhere.
It's on
That's a
Amazon.
good, that's a good kids movie, man.
Yeah.
It is everywhere. Okay. Yeah.
With adult situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It was I watched a lot as a kid.
Yeah. Robin Harris, Tim Curry, Tone Loc, Tommy Chong. Okay.
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Christian Slater.
Chong, both of them are in it. Christian Slater? Yep, right there. Okay. So Fern Gully is next week. So
that is a wide world of movies y'all looking.
Yeah.
We just reviewed Juice, and then y'all jumped to Fern Gully.
Also 1992.
Yeah. Also 1992. Very different situations in 1992.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
You're absolutely correct. That's how wide of a range we are on Roomies review the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what this says about my childhood,
That's
but
amazing. It's so amazing. I have to watch this episode because
yeah.
oh man, I probably need to chime in. Like, what the fuck?
Classic movie.
All right. So, we want to thank you
Yes.
for coming on again. You know, LeeLee is on my other podcast, The Ish We Talk, where it is me and him talking about various topics. But LeeLee, where can we reach you?
You can reach me on Twitter at bblaze82. You can reach me on Facebook, regular name, real names, no gimmicks. Destroy Hughes. You can reach me on Instagram at official Parker Bros. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I do have another Instagram, but nah, I want y'all to reach me professionally if y'all gonna reach me. But other than that, that is what it is. I eventually need to get a Twitter. So I mean not a Twitter, but a Twitch, so I can be a degenerate because I love to be a degenerate with the rest of the Twitch people.
Right, I'm gonna have to set your Twitch up for you because you say it every week and you still haven't done it.
I need to do it because my thing is I'll be looking at it and I'll be like, okay, I need a niche. Like, do I just like go into old games that I like and just, you know what I'm saying, stream them? Like, what should I, know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out what should I do, because I just don't want to get on Twitch and be the nigga that just talk shit all the time. Like, I actually, you know what I'm saying, it's a gamer's field, so I actually want to figure out a game I want to actually do.
I mean, that's the way. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later. But but Maria, where can we find you?
You can find me online pretty much anywhere, and if I'm there, you'll find me at Valar More Dollars. That's VALARMOR dollars. I also have another podcast I was talking about before called Nerdgasm Noir. It's 5 Black women talking nerdy, geeky pop culture things. So you can come join us over there and have a good time. Where can they find you, Lindsay?
Yes, you can find me everywhere at L_Ranelle. That's L_RANELLE. And like I said previously, on our other podcast, The Ish We Talk, where we talk about various topics. So yes. So that was episode 44 of Roomies Reviewing the Movies, and we will see you guys next time for episode 45. Bye.
Exactly.
Bye.